we all can spot and identify a breakout. And then what you do, you enter in on any pullback you can get to this general area. In those lessons that they're learning, nobody is ever teaching them how to properly lose. What happens if that trade setup goes south? Not only did we get a nice little trend line break down to the downside, but also even rejected this general area of that used to be a support, which is now a resistance. What is going on, my future fellow millionaires, and welcome back to another video. Guys, I just want to go over something real quick. We have been watching the price of gold climb from this very simple support right here. Then it actually consolidated around the general area, creating some type of cup and handle, which is where I took longs on for a very simple pre-breakout, captured the breakout. Then it does what my favorite thing is, which is very simply the break and retest on the higher time frame being the 1 hour. So we got the 1 hour break and retest. And guys, that is how I very simply watch the price action on higher time frames. Then I go on lower time frames and I slap entries. So with that being said, as you guys can see on my screen here, we have been watching the price of gold since here, consolidate around the general area, breakout, and now here's the retest, pullback entry. And guys, since then, very simply, anybody that says trading trend lines, boxes, simple support and resistance lines don't work, they're out of their minds. Because I have been doing nothing but capturing breakouts, retest entries, pullbacks to the upside, as well as, guys, very simply watching price action. You can capture the downside action too. Not only did we get a nice little trend line break down to the downside, but also even rejected this general area of that used to be a support, which is now a resistance. So we've been talking about finding entries lately in this channel, and very simply, guys, not only is this very simply a break and then the retest entry here, so you see a candle like this form, you enter because it's a break and retest for more upside. But also, again, another consolidation type range here, resistance at this previous area, then you get a candle breakout, guys. And look at this retest, pullback entry, this general area. Kind of does a little bit of a fake out, holds this trend or creates a trend line here. And again, guys, does exactly the same exact thing that just previously happened. Creates a little bit of a previous rejection or resistance area here. Then it continuously breaks above for another retest, guys. And guys, guess what? We traded that one too. I literally just showed you guys my orders, and I keep trying to tell you guys, literally, very simply, we traded this the other day, and we made a video on this. So I'm literally just practicing what I preach. Trading, break and retest every single one I can get. There's even one happening right now as we speak. Because, guys, look at this. Look at this. I cannot emphasize this enough. Follow the price all the way from down here. Very simply created, we watch price climb on up. Then it breaks. Not only below this trend line, but also even below what used to be a support. Boom, breaks. Guys, look at what happens. Let's talk about this, because people are always trying to talk about how can you find entries? How do I find entries? Guys, the trade setup is literally here, showing you that, boom, we're breaking down, pulls back to this general area. Entry is in anywhere of the general area. Stop loss above this general area, guys. Anyone could have took this pullback retest entry, set a stop loss very simply above previous highs or even at that most area there, and boom. Anybody could have took a trade like that. Very simply breakdown, pullback retest entry for some more downside action. And then again, guys, bounce a little bit around this general area, just a tad bit. And now here we are breaking down, forming somewhat of a head and shoulders. So are we going to continue this drop? I'm not sure. But so far, guys, I just wanted to show you guys that. If you didn't watch yesterday's vlog, check out the orders, guys. I'm trying to keep my losses small, my wins more bigger. This single trade right here is $215 on a single micro. It takes 4 losses in a row to barely touch a single gain. Let that sink in. It takes 4 losses in a row in order to catch up to what I can potentially gain in one single trade. Let's move on. Again, 130, break even here, another 150. And then a small loss, a little bit of gains here, another small loss. And guys, continuously just creating for more bigger gains. Guys, notice how whenever I take a loss, it's not a double-digit number, but market just opened. So let's trade. Notice how my losses are not in the hundreds. My losses are less than $100 per trade. And if I could get it, less than even $50 per trade when I lose. But guys, when I win, I'm gonna do my absolute best to hold it for a nice gainer. That's the whole goal. Of course, easier said than done, guys, and that's the whole reason why I'm here. So if you guys need help, click the link in the bio. It's free. I'll see you guys in there. But let's get to trading. So as you guys can see here, that was a trade from yesterday, correct? Do you guys remember when we took these trades here and we talked about how we're in one last one? We're going to hold it to see what it does. And guys, I ended up just holding it for this, previous area of, resistance. So I just sold it. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, yeah, not into that, any of that. Moving on. Guys, very simply, guys, anybody that says trend line trading or line trading don't work, boo-hoo, get right, loser, because guess what? We broke down below this trend line here, but not even that, guys, not even that. We even broke below this most previous, what used to be resistance, then act like a support, which now is breaking below. Here's the breaking retest to the downside, and guys, look at my orders. As you guys can see here, we entered 3 bad boys. Yes, it pulled back just a little bit, like negative 150, 120-ish, but then this thing smashed through to the next support level. And guys, guess what? Not only did we sell all 3 of our contracts there, as you guys can see, it says 3, but we even entered along on this bounce for a quick little snap of like 50 bucks, which I'll show you guys my orders here in a moment. And continuing on, that's just how we made $400. So if I go to my orders, you guys can see these are the 3 trades that I took. Those 3 orders for about a similar gain, being up over $300, and then that last trade to put me up at that $400 spot, which is a quick scalp, guys. So we're already up $400 on the day, which is pretty nice. And we actually have a dentist appointment today as well here at like 9 a.m. So we have a few hours to trade before we go get our teeth even more straightened, solid. And guys, if you guys have not been watching previous videos, even yesterday's vlog, there has been nothing but straight sauce in every single video explaining not only the trade setups, the entries, also what I recommend if you're a brand new trader, because guys, trading is not easy. You're not going to win every single trade. A lot of people think that. A lot of people think trading, you should have an 80-90% win rate, or every single trade is going to go in favor. Guys, it's not like that. The reality is trading is so difficult. You have to be a professional loser in order to even learn how to win. Winning becomes more easier once you learn how to lose first, because you're gonna lose. I'm just gonna be honest, you're gonna lose. And the reason why I say this is because of this. Everybody is trying to learn how to find the best trade setup, the best trade strategy, the best trade style to have a high win rate. But in those lessons that they're learning, nobody is ever teaching them how to properly lose. What happens if that trade setup goes south? Yesterday, I took a trade that was a very simple break and retest. I already had 1 win before that. So guess what? That second trade was a loss. But due to risk management, I only lost half of what I made on the first trade. So I still ended the day green, worst case scenario. Took a third trade. I set that third trade for the remainder of the gains of the first trade, meaning 2 losses and 1 win would have occurred. But what ended up happening was that third trade ended up being a winner, putting me at over $170 on the day. The reason why I bring that up is because, guys, how many of you guys can say you can win once, lose twice, and still end the day either break even or green? Plenty of traders are losing twice, winning once, and being down bad. There's a way to literally stop yourself from doing that, and I'm literally here to help you guys. So we're going to enter our first trade on New York City session market open. Reason why we're in this trade, guys, is very simply, again, you can see a nice breakout here, pull back, whatever. 4 hour, 1 hour looks very great. Nice breakouts here. And guys, we're just going to capture this a little bit of like a, you can see my entry around here. But either way, we're going to enter in now. We have $100 stop. Worst case scenario, we just make $300 on the day. Last trade for the day. Let's see what it does. Trading is one of those funny things where you got to do your absolute best to not force random trades, not take random trades. Literally, you have to be disciplined, patient enough to wait specifically for your one trade setup. Now, I literally do nothing but trade the break and retest, guys. That's all you guys been seeing me do. That's all I'm going to do to show you guys how simple it is to just follow your trade setup, follow your trade style, follow your trade plan, and you can end profitable. It's not about how many times you win. Although I'm winning quite often, quite a lot lately, I still would say, even though, guys, I had at one point a 47% win rate, profitable, taking payouts, collecting payouts, and all was based off risk reward. It's because willing to lose 50 to try to gain 100, willing to lose 50 to try to gain 200, guys, always just willing to lose a specific small amount to try to gain a big amount. Easier said than done, which is why you have to practice everything. You have to practice your entries, you have to practice your trade setup, you have to practice managing a trade. All of that takes experience. It's not something you could just wake up and have. You have to go through the lessons of losing, to be honest. You have to know what it feels like to have a trade go all the way up in profits majorly and stop you out of break even. To understand, okay, you know what? Tomorrow, when it goes in my favor, I'm going to put a stop loss in profits. You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that. Or maybe you don't do that because you notice it stops you out way too often. You know what I'm saying? Like those little tweaks is what you need to find out. It's quote unquote your edge, is what they say. And that is true. You do have to find quote unquote your edge. Because we can all trade the same trade setup, but all of us can handle and manage it differently. We're not all going to handle the same. Just like that, guys, we are rocketing. Nice breaking retest on higher time frames. And Honestly, what also helped us too was the S&P 500s came to test its most previous all-time highs. And look, guys, again, breakout was in the pre-market. Then here it comes back for a pullback, retest, entry. And guys, this is what we traded. Again, break and retest. Again, here, guys, all I trade is a fucking break and retest, man. So, guys, what we're going to do again is set this stop or this trade at break even. Worst case scenario, we make $0 on this trade, leaving us at $400 on the day. I'm pretty confident this thing is going to rock for the rest of the day. We do have a dentist appointment here at 9 a.m., so we have a few hours, about an hour, before we actually have to head out to go. But, guys, I'm confident this trade's going to print us nice money. Now, this is a quick topic that I keep talking about in my Discord. You know how easy it is to trade random trades, trade random potential trade setups, or very quick in and out intraday scalps on lower time frames. I used to be a scalper. I used to enter so many trades in and out, back to back to back, collecting for a small $40 gain, $40 loss, $40 gain. It was a tug of war battle. Now I'm trying to learn how to master one single contract. Of course, I've been doing this for over, almost 5 years now. But as far as building a habit on learning how to manage the trades, that has been going on for just over a year now. I was fine with one-to-ones. I was fine with collecting a quick 15-20% gainer in the option market, but now I want more, guys. Now we need more. So, guys, I ended up getting stopped out at break even. As you guys can see, I'm still up over $400 on the day. Really, I actually made just like a few bucks, but it wasn't anything. Very simply, what I was following and what I was eyeing is, again, my trade style. If you watched yesterday's vlog, or if you even watched the video before that about how I enter trades, what trade setup I look for, and how I find them. Very simply, this is just a previous breakout of previous highs, or breakout of previous highs, or you can call it a break of structure, whatever you want to call it, really. Doesn't even matter the name. Very simply, we all can spot and identify a breakout, and then what do? You enter in on any pullback you can get to the general area. The better the dip, the better the entry. Now, of course, easier said than done. You never know if it can keep on dipping, but that is the risk we're willing to take. So I entered in longs, set my stop loss just below this general area for a new lower low, for meaning invalidated trade. But it ultimately ended up actually climbing up, putting me in profit just a tad bit. And then what I did was I moved my stop loss to break even, or my entry. Then it stopped me out. Is what it is, though. Is what it is. Now, one thing that's really important that also helped me too was when I saw market get to this general area of a bounce, Qs was still holding, meaning that there's a chance where if SPY bounces here, market will help the momentum to the upside, and that's what happened. Look at how SPY is still holding the general area and bouncing, as well as even Qs is rocketing. Guys, we're going to end it here. So essentially, we took 3 trades total. I know on the thing it says I took 4, but it's or 5. But it is because I took 3 entries, so that's 3 trades. 3 entries for the first trade for that short on gold, sold them all in one go. Then I entered for a quick bounce after I entered my short, or after I exited my short position, entered it long for a quick little bounce scalp, as you guys saw earlier. So that technically on paper is 4 trades, but really that's just 2 trades in my opinion, because the first trade was a short, the second trade was the bounce. They count each entry as a trade. So whatever, 4 trades there, but really 2. And then the third trade, which is this one right here on MNQ, trying to capture the bounce here, got stopped out or break even. So really it is 2 wins, 1 break even is what I'll call it. Pretty solid day. We're going to end it here, $400. And guys, again, just understand the game is risk reward. All I'm doing though is just following my trade setup, my trade style. Because all I'm doing, guys, is capturing the dips. Like, these are dips to me. I love dips, bros. Come on. Again, like, this is essentially another dip. Maybe could have took it around here and called that good, but this is the break and retest. Guys, that's all I like to watch. Find what works best for you. Find your edge. Find the best trade setup you can find in your favor that you can manage. For an example, like, let's just talk about something very quick. Trendline trading. Typically, a stop loss on a trendline trading or trendline setup is pretty massive, I'm not gonna lie. So you have to be able to stomach a pretty big pullback on trendline trading. So guess what? If you cannot stomach big pullbacks, I wouldn't recommend trendline trading. Maybe you like to enter in on quick breakouts before the breakout actually even happens. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe you can capture them, capture the momentum, but find out what specifically you need to see to actually enter. Maybe you need to see stronger volume than the day before. Maybe you need to see big, strong buyer candles. You know what I'm saying? Like, find your edge, find your entries, spot where you enjoy taking entries at, and where you identify the best trade setup in your favor. Because trading is really an individual journey. I cannot tell you what your trade setup is. I cannot tell you how you need to trade. I cannot tell you what trade style or what trade strategy fits you. You need to figure that out yourself. I'm only here to at least help you manage the trades that you're in. So you might come to me and say, hey, I trade this kind of style or this way. And I'm here just to help you identify stops, identify better entries, because you have to read candlesticks, which is price action, and plenty of other things. So guys, if you need help, I'll see you guys in Discord, either the free version or the premium version. The premium version is, again, to go one-on-one with me. The free version is very simply just to be a part of the community, be in the trade zone, be in the trade chat, and we can chat every single day. You still get access to practically the whole server except just the educational courses. That's it. So I'll see you guys in there if you guys want to join, and I'll catch you guys on the next video, guys. We have been straight killing it. $400 a day. Yesterday, $300 or something like that. Every single day is just green. But really, it's just based off risk reward. So catch you guys on the next one.